Okay, so now I'm going to try my best to summarize Chapter 13's, the various items that I think is important for you to have memorized, or pretty much memorized if you want to try and be a leg up next year. So there's one extra little thing that you need to be aware of. When you're finding exact values of angles that end up directly on one of your axes, so whether it's a y-axis, an x-axis, doesn't matter where at on one of the axes, but that's where your angle ends up with you. This is another thing you want to have memorized. This one's pretty easy. You've got your cosine, your sine, and then your tangent. So I usually fill it in with cosine, sine, and then tangent instead of tangent, and you'll learn why in a second. So if we're up, down, left, or right on either one of these, up, down, left, or right, up, down, left, or right, we have an easy way to remember this. Cosine, right here in the middle, is an O. So when we're up or down, the value is 0. So cosine of 90 degrees, which would be right here, would equal 0. Then when we're left and right, we've got a -1 and +1. Sine, look here in the middle, we have a little I versus the O. So up and down helps us remember these are our ones. +1, -1, and left and right, you probably can guess it, are going to be our zeros. So if I do sine of 90 degrees, that would equal, going up, a +1. Finally, the tangent, the U in there is because if I'm up or down on these, it's undefined. And left and right on our tangent would be 0 and 0. So if I did tangent of 90 degrees, it would equal undefined answer. Okay, so that's the first item that you need to have memorized. The next couple are pretty easy. That's your add sugar to coffee, or all students take calculus. That's for when you're finding your exact values to determine whether or not the final step is making it positive or negative. You must also, I think, have memorized your 30, 60, 90 side lengths. So hypotenuse 1, across from the 30 is the 1/2, across from the 60 is the √3/2. The 45, 45, 90, which has your hypotenuse of 1, your side lengths √2/2. And finally, the sine up, cos down. So we've got sine, cosines, tangents. We've got 30s, 45s, then 60s. So the sine of 30 degrees equals the 1/2. That's the first one you kind of want to have memorized. Remember, the denominators stay the same. Your sine goes up, so we get √2 and then √3. Your cosine goes down, so we've got √3, then √2, then 1. And your tangent, you've got the √3/3, and then 1, and then just √3. If you have all that stuff memorized, you'll do very well, both in this class and I think moving forward. So good luck.